And welcome back to American Agenda. I'm Heather Childers, along with Bob Sellers. We mentioned earlier that today is the deadline for President Trump to submit a report to Congress regarding foreign interference in the 2020 presidential election. The Director of National Intelligence, John Ratcliffe, says that there was definitely foreign interference from China, Iran, and Russia. And joining us now with the very latest on that is presidential political strategist Dick Morris. Thank you so much for joining us once again, Dick. We appreciate it.
What I know, Ratcliffe, the DNI, Director of National Intelligence, has been informed by the intelligence community that it is still collating and putting together its full findings and that they can't make the deadline of today. I'm hoping that Ratcliffe issues a statement on his own, explaining the foreign intervention matter. But let me just explain the context. President Trump issued an executive order 2 years ago saying that within 45 days of an election, the Director of National Intelligence, DNI, has to certify whether or not there was foreign intervention in that election to obstruct the results. And that is a wonderful vehicle for him to use to bring this out, because once that finding is made, he can impose all kinds of sanctions on the individuals involved and on the countries that sponsored them. And this would be an official finding from the intelligence community. And it is very important that that be released. So if I was speaking to the president right now, which I hope to be tonight, I will tell him that I think he should call Ratcliffe right away and make sure that this statement is issued. Because I think that it is vital that we have an official rendering of a decision that this election was indeed hacked by foreign actors. It's vital not just for the 2020 election, which is very important, obviously, but also to lay the basis for eliminating this kind of intervention in the future and for showing that Trump was right all along, because we want that to be proven in the event that he has to run again in 24.
When you suggest there may have been hacking in this case, what kinds of things are you envisioning?
This is actual intervention in the vote count. This is through Dominion software and Smartmatic, and the accusation here is that the vote count itself was altered and flipped through that software. You know, it's been proven in one county in Michigan, which had a 2-week-long forensic audit and showed that the results that originally said that Biden won it with 63% were wrong, and Trump won it by 61%. And we just need that evidence and that information all over the country. And that combined with the signature audit that's going on now in Georgia that originally they weren't going to do, but the Trump people forced them to do, could be very significant.
Yeah, in Georgia, there was a report that I was reading, you know, kind of just trying to go through what would be the potential evidence. There were glitches in several areas involving the Dominion voting system, but they said specifically the most notable was a change of 20,000 votes. Votes surged for Biden and 1,000 lost for President Trump. Well, you know, Joe Biden appeared for a special interview on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert last night when he gave what a lot of folks are saying was an unsatisfactory answer when being asked about his son, Hunter. Listen to this.
We have great confidence in our son. I am not concerned about any accusations been made against him. It's used to get to me. I think it's kind of foul play, but look, it is what it is, and he's a grown man. He is the smartest man I know. I mean, for the pure intellectual capacity. And as long as he's good, we're good.
And joining us now with more on this and some other topics is CEO of MyPillow, Mike Lindell. Thank you so much for joining us. It is great to have you with us and to talk with you.
Well, thanks for having me on.
And we have your book up right now. You're the author of What Are the Odds? I can start right there. What were the odds that he would actually finally answer a question about Hunter? But he seems to have gone from, you know, Hunter didn't do anything to, well, Hunter didn't do anything bad to, well, we just love Hunter.
Well, you know what he just said there? He said, well, they're using this to get to me. What they're using all this Hunter stuff for, it's all over the news and all over the media, is just a mask to hide the actual news, which is the election fraud, which I have been just subdued in just everything. I'm doing everything I can to bring out this election fraud. And this is what they're doing with this Hunter Biden. People should not even worry about this. Everybody should be asking the question, okay, what's our pathway for our president to be president for the next 4 years? Because he is going to be our president for the next 4 years. I talked to Sidney, Linwood, General Flynn, talk to them all to get the due diligence, to do my due diligence, to find out what evidence we have. We have enough evidence now that as soon as everybody sees it, everyone in this country, including people are going to, on the left, are going to go, Donald Trump won this election, and it needs to go to the Supreme Court. It needs to be a 9-0 vote that this was real. And that's the big story.
That would be interesting. That would be an interesting strategy if they're so concerned about the election fraud that they're actually willing to put Hunter out there now, because there were a lot of allegations that, you know, if voters had known more details about Hunter Biden and the business dealings of the Biden family, that the election would have gone differently. One of those accused of maybe putting those stories on the back burner, my previous employer, Fox News, and you had something to say about that as well. We can actually pull that up from a Stop the Steal rally last weekend. Let's listen.
Fox. Let's talk about Fox. They took Fox would not let me advertise my book before the election because they said it was political. This is my story from being a crack addict to the platform God's given me to speak out for Jesus. And they did. And they knew that part of my story is meeting our great president in the summer of 2016.
Mike, what are they doing over there?
Well, see, that's not, like I say, it's not just Fox. You guys can make a story out of that, whatever. But what I was saying was this thing goes deep and far and wide. What they're doing to all of you on the news right now by putting Hunter up there, why didn't they let it out before the election? Because Donald Trump would have got elected. Right? You know, even probably because they probably didn't put in enough algorithms to cheat enough then. So now they're putting it out there for a big mask and a big charade so that people on the right go, well, at least they're going after him now. And it also could be the Democrats putting it out there to get rid of Joe Biden because he's just a Trojan horse to get Kamala in there. I'm telling you right now, the big story should be there is enough evidence. If everybody sees and knows what I've seen, the Supreme Court, and on January 6th, the council,
electors, when they certify the electors.
Right, when they do that, both on January 6th or before then, right now there's 6 cases that Sidney has before the Supreme Court. What are they afraid of? Can't we find out? You know, yesterday they found 700,000 ballots that were flipped in Arizona. What happened on election night is a blessing to us all as a country. At 11:15, so many votes had come in for President Trump that he was going to win the election in spite of the cheating on the Dominion machines. So they had to stop everything and backload votes and recalibrate. That's why it took, 5-6 days for them to figure it out.
I think what's frustrating for folks who feel like you do, and there are over 73 million of those folks out there, they're not hearing all of this information. They're not hearing the evidence that Sidney Powell has or Lynn Wood has. And I think that, that's where a lot of frustration lies across the country right now. They're not given access to the information.
Well, because who's blocking it? All the news is. Everybody's blocking it. You can put little blips on Newsmax and OAN. I mean, doesn't anybody care that what they found with one of the machines in Michigan? I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. All this evidence is before the Supreme Court. All the evidence is sitting with. It's been blocked even by people in the GOP. One of the things this is gonna bring up is all the corrupt politicians that are on both sides. I mean, this thing goes so deep. I put in resources, so much money into getting machines, getting evidence, and helping out these our country. This is all of us. This involves everybody. We need to go back. You guys talked about technology. We need the best technology for elections is one vote, one paper ballot.
Yes,
because sometimes
exactly. And voter ID as well.
Yeah.
Mike, thank you so much for joining us. We don't have a whole lot of time, but I know that the president appreciates your efforts too, and all those folks out there on social media. Thank you.
Thank you.